All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today. In this one, we'll be giving our thoughts on the new Walking Dead series, Typhoon. Alright, and sorry I haven't made too many videos for you guys this week aside from Fear the Walking Dead. It's just because I've been dealing with some stuff around the house. The furnace went out, so we have no air conditioning, and it's freaking hot, right? So dealing with that, but, want to continue with the usual stuff, and of course, we've got Fear on tonight, so regular reviews for Fear and all that usual stuff. So this one just kind of hit this week. News of a new Walking Dead series. Want to go ahead and give our thoughts on. So this one is called The Walking Dead Typhoon, and it's set in China from the looks of things. So it's going to be kind of an expansion for The Walking Dead into China, because that's something that we've never we've never seen before, we've never heard of kind of before. But of course, in The Walking Dead, it's a worldwide outbreak, a zombie apocalypse outbreak. So, you get different things happening in different countries, and maybe in the AMC TV series universe, which is kind of different from the comics. I separate The Walking Dead up into two sections. You have The Walking Dead television series, AMC universe, which is its own separate take, right? You have different things happening with the characters in that one versus the comics, which is your other main original Walking Dead universe, you would say. The first one. Then, of course, the TV series universe was adapted from that and kind of expanded on that a bit. So the original Walking Dead comic book series universe, that's where this one is set in, I believe, is that part of the Walking Dead universe. But it sounds like it's going to be a novel set. So heads up here. So it says, The Hollywood Reporter published an excerpt from Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead Typhoon, a novel set for release this fall from author Wesley Chu that is set in China in Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead universe. The excerpt itself introduces three characters, so there are two Chinese and one American, living in China in the aftermath of the zombie outbreak. Within the excerpt itself, the novel doesn't add any new wrinkles to the universe aside from different characters and a new location. In fact, the novel also begins about 6 months after the apocalypse, close to when the Walking Dead comics and television series began. It says, the novel itself, however, allows Robert Kirkman to expand the universe and fill us in on what is happening in other parts of the world outside of America as the outbreak wipes out most of the population. It appears from the excerpt that China suffers a similar fate. Half of China's population perished within the first few weeks, and most of the rest have died in subsequent months. For the Walking Dead junkies, the novel will obviously be a must-read, but others may be wondering if, with the novel, Kirkman is floating the idea of expanding the Walking Dead universe in television form as well, with a second spin-off coming next year, and a series of Rick Grimes movies. Is there room left in the television landscape for yet another series? So they're kind of proposing that maybe, this novel set that's going to be released could be adapted as well for television. For it'd probably be AMC, because they've got the license for pretty much everything Walking Dead. So I would think that's where you would look to see it. Not sure, because of course they're doing the additional spin-off series as well, which features the two girls, I guess. So there's going to be the Walking Dead original canon series, the Walking Dead movies next year starting. Fear the Walking Dead is the third, and then you're adding on the fourth with this second spin-off series. So let's just recap that again for the TV series. The original Walking Dead series, which runs every year, right? Which is, its roster's a bit lower than it used to be. The Walking Dead movies with Rick. Fear the Walking Dead with Morgan, Dwight, Alicia, and the others. And then the next spin-off. So that's 4 properties every year if they keep them all going, starting in 2020. So that's so far as we know, anyway. So would they add on I don't think they'll add on a fifth, no. So they have done Walking Dead novels before. One of them was centered around Lily Call, which was she was from Woodbury, so she's connected with the Governor's Origin from the comics and that kind of stuff. So and most of them have gotten good reviews from what you guys have told me in comments. It was pretty good. I personally haven't read them all the way through. I went through a little bit of the one that's centered around Lily, if there's just one or more than one, I'm not sure. Because the way I kind of view it is, and this is kind of the way it's gone with the Walking Dead comic universe version, not the TV series. The thing is that he's what Kirkman has done with the comics is he's kept it to just the one Walking Dead title per month. So there's only the one Walking Dead comic title per month in comic form, and he hasn't allowed for any other Walking Dead comics to be released. Now, there's good and bad with that, right? Because he hasn't added on any other comic release series for The Walking Dead, it hasn't been diluted down at all. It's been concentrated. So you go to the comic shop every month, there's a new issue of The Walking Dead, but there's not any other kind of spin-offs in comic form. They're in the novels, or maybe he's done a Here's Negan, which was kind of like just a one-shot type of deal, which was great. I really enjoyed it. And so it's kind of been more sort of concentrated. You haven't kind of oversat the TV series, with the properties that it has, right? It's kind of really saturated that down. So maybe he doesn't want to do that with the comics and have other comics running at the same time, be it the China version and this kind of stuff, and kind of all these different sub-properties. Also, you'd have to find an author, I guess maybe he could do both, write the Walking Dead comics and, Walking Dead spin-off comics. But it's easier for him, I guess, to do like a novel type thing and just use the name and have someone else be the author and do all that and kind of do most of the work and then just kind of release it. Whereas if they do another comic series like Walking Dead Typhoon Comics, then they'd have to find your an author to do the comics, which is a bit different from novels. And then, in terms of writing for comics, then you have to find the your graphic artist, your comic artist to do the actual visuals, every month, which is probably tricky to do as well because comics are pretty niche, right? So he's kind of kept it to the one. So maybe for good or for bad, I'm not sure. I always wondered why he didn't do any other comic Walking Dead series, because I think they would do fine too. But maybe that's why, is that he doesn't want to kind of dilute it down for the Walking Dead comics. He wants to keep it to the one, so when people go to the comic shop, they buy a Walking Dead comic. It's the original canon series. There's no confusion about some underline that says Typhoon or something like that. He keeps that to the novels, which is kind of in the same universe, but sort of not. See, the way I think of it is, if it's truly part of the same universe, it should probably be in the same medium in terms of release. So if it's comic universe, it should be a comic in the way that it's released, I think. TV series to movie is okay, because that kind of is the same kind of thing, just in a different play format. But it is a big difference when you're going from comics to novel. Those are two completely different ways of reading or interpreting the information. So it sounds okay. We'll see if it's any good. If I hear a lot from you guys and you say, if any of you guys pick it up in the fall, Walking Dead Typhoon, set in China, which could be interesting because it's different landscape, different people, different environment, heavily dense in certain areas, right? A lot of people, so heavy population, so it could be cool. But we'll have to see, how it turns out. So if any of you guys pick it up, if any of you guys buy it in the fall, be sure to let me know if it's worth it. If it is, maybe I'll be able to buy it and read all the way through. The problem with me with reviewing novels is that when you buy a novel, it takes a while to read it all the way through so that, I can do the review with it after with you guys. But if it's really good, it might be worth it. So anyway, that's it for all the details for this one so far. It sounds okay. Sounds pretty cool. But I personally would have preferred to see it in comic format because it's based on the comic universe. If you guys like today's Walking Dead video, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and subscribe at the bottom left if you're new. That's it for this one. See you guys again soon for another. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.